Today we continue open access lecture series Beyond Academia, Higher Educational Institution and Society Collaboration in Response to Ukrainian Cultural Heritage Crisis within the framework of the Data for UA project, which we have been implementing since November last year. This is an 18 months project running from November 2023 to April 2025, brings together a great consortium of partners, including the Institute of Literature, Folklore and Art at the University of Latvia, in the role of coordinator, Lviv Polytechnic National University, Ukraine, Space 4CC Greece, Norway, and the University of Ljubljana, Slovenia. And the project is supported by the European Union Erasmus Plus program. The objectives of Data for UA project is to support and strengthen cultural heritage data management with a special emphasis on cultural heritage education and training system. Отже, шановні колеги, я коротко ще раз повернуся до нашого проєкту, в рамках якого здійснюється ця діяльність. І сьогодні в нас вже друга лекція в рамках проєкту Data for UA, Європейського Союзу, проєкт Erasmus+, і програма, яка об'єднала чудовий консорціум європейських інституцій вищої освіти. Отже, це Інститут літератури, фольклору і мистецтва університету Латвії, і роль координатора проєкту здійснює Ріта Грінвальде. Це також наша інституція, Національний університет Львівська політехніка, кафедра історії, музеєзнавства і культурної спадщини. Це інституція, яка представляє партнерство Греції і Норвегії Space 4CC і університет Ljubljana з Словенії. І проєкт здійснюється в рамках програми Erasmus+, програми Європейського Союзу. І, власне, сьогодні в нас є друга лекція, тому що проєкту передбачено здійснення онлайн і офлайн лекцій, серії таких лекцій, які спрямовані на власне, таку глибоке занурення у стан культурної спадщини України в часи війни, але вплив цього явища на інституційні зміни, на зміни, які відбуваються в університетах і які відбуваються в організаціях, які пов'язані з культурною спадщиною. So today we are starting the second lecture, online lecture, and this lecture is on the topic institutional changes at Ukrainian universities and the development of cultural heritage study programs during war. And I would like to give a floor to Svitlana Muravska, Doctor of Chair of History, Museology and Cultural Heritage of Lviv Polytechnic National University, but also member of International Committee of Museum, and also member of ICOM Ukraine and the Department of Committee of ICOM International UMAC. So, Svitlana Muravska, the floor is yours.
Thank you, dear colleagues, dear students. Today I'll speak in English. However, my presentation is bilingual, so in Ukrainian and in English. And of course, if you have any questions, it will be great if you have some interest in this topic. However, it's more about some changes and in different ways how we as a department and our colleagues from another departments from all over the Ukraine try to improve our educational programs, also influenced by the circumstances of war. However, I hope it will be interesting also for our students, not only for teachers. And in chat, I sent like some rules of behavior during our webinar, like last time, so you can read and also try to to be open for each other. So let's start, and you see the title of my lecture. Firstly, I would like to say that preparing to this lecture, I sent some emails and have a personal contacts with some lecturer from another department, also cultural heritage or museology department from another universities, and mainly my lecture is based on this empirical data. Also, when I didn't receive some material from, for example, Lviv State University, so I will not speak. I don't have a possibility to speak because I didn't receive this material. But I'll explain it later. So for any country, and Ukraine, it's not like exception. Cultural heritage is extremely valuable resource. So it accumulates the values of nation that have been created over centuries. So public authorities, NGOs, educational institutions, etc., operate to record, preserve, study, promote, and use it. At the same time, cultural heritage management is a very complex process that requires of understanding of this phenomena taking place in a very various social spheres. So cultural heritage management is about achieving a balance between development of tourism industry, generation income, and promotion sites, recording their educational, historical, and so on values. So purpose of this lecture to analyze such institutional changes in Ukrainian university. And now on this slide, you can see that in Ukraine, educational programs in the specialty 027, we have such title according to the system of our Minister of Education. It's called Museum Studies, Monument Studies, and such programs are implemented in such universities as you can see on slide. So it's Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv, Kyiv National University of Culture and Art, Lviv Polytechnic National University, Lviv State Humanitarian University, Kharkiv Academy of Culture and Arts, Mukachevo State University, and from last year, Ivan Franko National University of Lviv. So let's start with our department, because our department of history, museology, and cultural heritage. I wouldn't like to sound like every bird likes its own nest, but according to the data from Minister of Education, for several years in a row, our educational program has been the most frequently chosen by the applicants who wanted to study in such educational program. This year, our department celebrates the 12th anniversary of the first intake of students in effort to modify the content of program and make it more popular. In 2020, our department, the staff of this department, began work on creating a new master program. So sorry. Okay. Sorry, I just tried to have some. Okay. Sorry, unfortunately, I have probably, okay, some technical problems with my computer. However, I just tried to resolve this questions. Okay, is everything okay? Is it clear for you? Yeah. Okay, sorry for some technical issues. However, and almost 5 years ago, we started to work on improvement our program and mainly creating a new one, because Also, Ukraine is rich in cultural resources, and our country has more than 11,000 monuments of local significance and about 1,000 of national significance. However, cultural tourism in Ukraine is now mainly developing on the basis of monument of the FAST group. And at the same time, in 2019, in Ukraine, we had decentralization reform, and it brought about a number of changes with the formation of new territorial communities, as these communities wanted to use different resources to fill their budgets. They access cultural heritage as a potential for the development and to try to promote local monuments. In contrast to such a situation, such communities at the micro level are more aware about the dividends from such action, from development of tourism, and mostly tourism based on the local cultural heritage monuments. Moreover, the current international experience shows that cultural heritage can be turned into a resource for the development, such communities, for development of human capital. And also, I would like to say that in 2020, the Ukrainian Cultural Foundation funded the study. It called Promoting Cultural Development in Ukraine, a study of the relationship between the cultural and artistic sphere and the tourist attractiveness. You can see it. So the main result of such foundation story and the main result of research during made 4 years ago that it's a bad idea. It's bad idea to separate economic and cultural issue. It's outdated approach. Also, it was pointed out that it's better to organize the process of commercialization culture, because it's make some incomes for preserving tangible and intangible heritage. So it was a possibility to show that developing cultural tourism is a very good idea, and we need a professional staff who can organize it mostly on a local level. However, there were no specialists on the ground who could do it professionally because at that time no higher educational institution in Ukraine had programs in cultural heritage management. Only trained specialists in the field of museum and monument studies. So now you can see the statesman, famous research in cultural heritage and cultural heritage management, David Uzil. He thought that cultural heritage management is like child between of numerous relationship between scholars from many disciplines, and for us, for members of our department, it was clear that we need to organize interdisciplinary team from historians, archaeologists, also specialists from another departments, mainly department of management, or some specialists who knew how about digitalization collection, about using social media in this process. And we really try work to do this, because mostly a program about cultural heritage management, it's about interdisciplinarity. It's really interdisciplinary nature. For example, in Europe, we have program in cultural heritage management. In America, we have a cultural resource management, but it's the same. It's mostly about tradition using some statesmen. However, I also should say that before the aggression, the full invasion Russia against Ukraine, the Ministry of Culture launched several programs aimed at supporting this process. In particular, there was an educational program called the Academy of Cultural Leaders from Ministry of Ukraine. We organized some trainings from such non-government organization like HEI, some trainings from or round tables organized by Center of the Development of Museum and Monument Studies. It's also it's not NGO, but some in structure of Kharkiv State Academy of Culture and Arts. Later, this center created also own NGOs. However, it's this attempts. It's mostly about non-university education, about non-formal organization, like some possibility to put some puzzle about knowledge in cultural heritage management. Therefore, the staff of our department decided to fill like this niche and introduce a new educational program, management of cultural heritage and cultural tourism. And now you can see the first like advert for students for our master program. It's in 2022, so it's too old now. Ukraine had no similar program in such topic 2 years ago. We also don't have it now with the same name. The text of educational program Museum Monument Protection and Cultural Tourism, which is staffed at Lviv Polytechnic, states there. I would like to explain, yes, that we have a bachelor program. It called Museum Monument Protection and Cultural Tourism. However, we tried to, in our master program, focus on acquiring more skills in field of industry management with all its peculiarities. Russia war in Ukraine, which has been waged since 2014 and with active wave of aggression in 22, has become the biggest challenge for higher educational system since independence, proclaiming Ukrainian independence, because it's numerous destruction of premises, it's the relocation of staffs and students from the eastern and southern regions, it's about dispersion of team, about the need to equip basement in regions where there is no active hostilities, thanks God, but it was done to continue offline learning. Also, another challenge is competition with higher educational institutions abroad. Among these things, the security situation has become an important factor in student choice to study in Lviv Polytechnic and also in Lviv, like probably most peaceful. Yes, of course, we don't have any peaceful places generally in Ukraine, but the situation is is better comparing another cities in the center or eastern part of our state. So Lviv Polytechnic as a higher education institution became more popular. Of course, it influenced on the popularity of our program. However, it's also about our desire to introduce a really new educational program which don't have like similar ones in other Ukrainian higher educational institutions. Creating the program, we were guided by the fact that the student of it will be from local from local governments, from this creating communities, and probably with some public association from NGOs. Therefore, we focused on the specific of managing local historic heritage as a resource and developing cultural tourism in the region. Idea of creation this program, it was before the February 22. However, educational and methodological support of program of all disciplines included in it were provided after February 22 and of course, it influenced because in each course, in each disciplines, such topics were discussed in one way or another. For example, it's like popular topic, digitalization collection, decolonization of heritage, heritage as a tool that affects cultural memory and identity. Okay, I mentioned about it. In process of preparation our curricula, we staff of our department analyzed the experience a number of Polish and American and European universities. Among those whose experience was particularly taken into account, it was Johns Hopkins University in USA, Harriet Watt University in Scotland, and Cardinal Stefan Wyszyński University in Warsaw or Poland. This program has even probably not the same title, yes, but for us was really important to combine using management also cultural heritage and cultural tourism, and show it in not only in the title but presenting different disciplines in our curriculum. I would like to share my experience. After all, as a head of this master program, I had the task to develop one of the basic course, Cultural Heritage Management. When I started work on the methodological support, it became clear for me that I need to create something new, like from scratch, because at that time, some Ukrainian universities propose discipline with such title, Cultural Heritage Management. However, it was exactly not the same that I would like to show in my subject. For example, now we can see the structure of discipline Cultural Heritage Management proposed till now in Taras Shevchenko National University. And you see different like main themes during proposed for students in these disciplines. However, in our master program, we have like here it's specific topic in a one discipline. In our master program, we have specific discipline for each of us. For example, administrative and criminal liability, yes, or about function and the role of local government. We have a separate discipline in our master program. So it was not impossible to use such curricula because it was exactly not the same. Also, for example, yes, it's questions, not question, but it's like question of test for students who learn discipline management of historical and cultural heritage sites at Ivan Franko National University. But like go through this list, you can see that it's mainly about the theory of management, not about specific managing of heritage and so on. It's such discipline could be provided into another old programs connected with the management. So it was not only my variant. Another example, it's a course yes. So now you can see the structure of discipline cultural heritage management creating like it's my variant what should be. Yes. So now you can see. So our first topic, it's about cultural heritage management as a field of knowledge and academic discipline. So we speak with students in which way, when we can start think about management of heritage like a specific branch of knowledge and a separate discipline for students. Different approaches to cultural management, specific of managing object included to UNESCO list or management at the community level, mostly theory, however, and a big, probably a biggest topic in my course. It's about cultural heritage plan. So we discussing like algorithm. Started, we have object or we have some cultural event. We discussing step by step what should be organizing and do it clear. Yes, big. Topic, it's about problems in a cultural heritage management and specific of managing heritage, for example, intangible or ecological or sacred or military heritage. It was influenced generally by war, because now we have a specific category of heritage newly created after 2014 and mostly about 2022. And of course, now why is continuing, but we should still be ready to discuss it, and later after the finishing of war, after the victory, to know how we should behave with it and how in which way we should promote it, show for our international partners and so on. Also, because I even printed like book for students called Cultural Heritage Management. So now in Ukraine we have such book. It was prepared last year. Of course, I don't have a lot of financial resource to print it by myself. However, it was possible to buy and of course, students of our program can use it. Now you can see another our activity aimed at improving our program after the full invasions, because we can see in November 23, we held a meeting of the scientific commission. It's called Scientific and Methodological Commission on our specialty, museum studies and monument studies, and result was changed to the program. In particular, new disciplines were introduced. It's not about our decision, it was a recommendation from our stakeholders and from our students also. And exactly, I would like to say that such disciplines like problems of protection and restoration of cultural heritage, sorry, it's like mistake in its name, problem of protection and restoration of cultural heritage in the 21st century, it's a result totally war. Also discipline Ukrainian cultural heritage in emigrations. And also I should mention that all our disciplines, smaller or bigger way, include some topics, some questions, some issues connected with new circumstances of existing cultural heritage sites or using collections, so on. That okay. Now I forgot to mention that coming back to the topic of military heritage, like one of question in this discipline, cultural heritage management, later such a topic was proposed to start to develop in the format of bachelor thesis and later master thesis for our students. So it's also influenced by the war. Okay, and now according to a comparative analysis of changes in the programs between 2022 and 2024, the focus is on specific preserving and protection heritage during the war and use it in a post-war reconstruction of Ukraine. It's like main summary on this part. And now for the institutional changes in the structure of museum and monument studies program at other universities, because now you can see the information from Lviv Polytechnic State University. They have programs, museum monument studies and cultural tourism. They have bachelor and master program. And in last year, master program had the following courses. Now you can see this on the slide. And it's like seminar, not obligatory, yes, discipline, actual problems of museology and, sorry also for mistakes, actual problems of museology and topics about museums in Ukraine in condition of war, and museums of which tasks to show, to exhibit for visitors artifacts of Russia, Ukrainians were the topic of discussing with students. Also, students of this master program during study another discipline and actual problems of monument studies were discussing the problem of preserving monuments in annexed Crimea and also in eastern Ukraine, the destruction of heritage sites during the war. Also, I would like to mention that students were engaged in the process of preparation exhibition, War for Independence of Ukraine. It was last year. It was during cooperation between Леся Українка, Volyn State University, Volyn National University, and National Military History Museum of Ukraine. It was also space where students can have some like experience for organizing exhibit work. So thanks for Svitlana Muravska from Леся Українка National University who gave me such empirical data. Another situation and another our point of view, it's from Kharkiv State Academy of Culture, thanks to Anatoly Shcherban, who is the head of this department now. Now you can see like direct speech, Anatoly Shcherban direct speech. It's really awful, but since the COVID, Academy has been teaching continuously in a distance mode, so online learning. It was possible to hold some offline events before a full invasion. However, it's almost impossible to do it now in Kharkiv, and sometimes the staff, the department lecturers try to hold some off-site events with university students in more safer areas in central part of Ukraine. However, the effectiveness of such activities is much lower than it was before the 2022. In particular, as Anatoly Shcherban said, because pupils come to this department with less preparation, its influence also of war. Another issue that remote mode, the circumstance of learning had affected the curriculum because it's clear for all the staff, for all like people who work at university, that amount of hours for learner students, it depends also from amounts each students in a different group. So if group is more bigger, so it's like a factor for university authorities that it's possible to give some additional courses. However, now situation in Kharkiv is really problematic one, and it's impossible to organize some educational internship also because they have only small amount of students. It's from financial reasons. Another big problem is about general decreasing the number of students, and now before the full invasion it was Department of Cultural activity, Department of Museum touristic activity. Now it's include 3 different parts. From last year, Department of Tourism, Business and Cultural Management, like second part, and from this year it's about another culture, about department of social media, so on. So it's 3 different parts in one department. The head, Anatoly Shcherbany, had a lot of work, especially like methodological work connected with accreditation of programs, so on. And for him as a head of such program, it's impossible to, because it's about our energy and generally possibility about our minds to create something new, because such administrative work take a lot of energy. I also would like to say that such program, like a bachelor program, which exists from 2014, it was closed. Now it's called Digital Museum Industries. It's last probably, maybe I make mistake, 3 years, not more. And this year only. Okay, так, Соня, try зглось.
Будь ласка, колеги, якщо можна, так, відключіть свої мікрофони. Та десь Київ. Дякую.
Дякую, перепрошую. Теж ось мене так. Вибачте, sorry, I sometimes I need to switch off my language. So only 4 students began to study at this program this year in Kharkiv, and it's really pity because Kharkiv and the Kharkiv State Academy of Culture and Arts, it was only one educational program in Kharkiv and in the eastern part of Ukraine preparing such specialists. And of course, we understood that it's mostly connected with the challenges of war. However, we have some such big problem. Also, I would like to say about another, about another department. It's about Department of Archaeology and Museum Studies at Taras Shevchenko National University of Kyiv. Thanks to Svitlana Muravska, I received this empirical data for preparing my lecture, and now you can see that in programs connected with museums and monument studies after 2022, many courses discuss topics related to the impact of war on cultural heritage. It includes issues of legal conflicts about implementation of Hague Convention Protocol, UNESCO inability, but generally inability to influence the deliberate destruction of monuments at museums. During last year, in the department, there were some projects and such projects, in a different way, but closely were connected with the situation in state, with the challenges because of war. Now you can see that it's about project with archaic aimed at digitalize collection of museum, archaeological museums in Taras Shevchenko National University, and project participants gave lectures and practical classes for students. In such way, they have a possibility to improve their practical skills. Also, there was a project, it was international project with some American institutions, and thanks to this cooperation, it was possible to organize online classes on photogrammetry and LIDAR technology. Also, it's about impact of war of culture, because Professor Jan Kite carried out the lecture for students, and at the beginning it was about circumstance of archaeology heritage during the war, but generally it was like big discussion about influence war on the culture. Also, several bachelor's and master theses last year, in university were devoted to the issues of decolonization, as like in our university, the impact of war on museums and monuments, the work of UNESCO, and science, the department is still training the archaeologists. There are courses of about the regulatory framework for the protection of archaeological sites, and students discuss the state of such sites during the war. I should mention that this department of archaeology and museum studies, it's an ancient department preparing staff in a sphere of museology in Ukraine, because it started its activity not after 1944, I hope I'm not mistaken, and till the proclaiming of Ukrainian independence, it was only one department in Ukraine organizing such activity. Speaking about the institutional changes in educational programs in cultural heritage management, I should also mention the master program, The Future of Heritage. It's called The Future of Heritage, History, Culture, and Literature. Started at the Ukrainian Catholic University last year. Here I have to explain that students will be able to obtain master's degree in 3 specialties: cultural studies, history, and philology. But it's cultural studies program, not a program of specialty 027, museum studies and monument studies, but since the word heritage appears in the title, I will make some clarification. Most information I take from interview the head of this department, Bogdan Chuma, and he explains that master program prepares a new type of humanitarian, a specialist who combines the competences of an academic researcher and an expert who is able to work with the issues of the past in the modern academic and public spaces, creating a new image of Ukraine and propose a Ukrainian agenda for the world. So it's not like exactly heritage program, mostly humanities. However, main themes in this master program, it's heritage, it's memory, identity, decolonization, trauma, primarily as a result of the war, and borderlands as a place of creation new meaning. And here, okay, and here, not this slide, probably, yeah. Now you can see disciplines included to this master program. First, heritage, memory, identity, and concept of map. It's like theory mainly. Next, discipline, heritage, memory, identity, interpretation. How it's about how scholars should work with this. And the third part, communication, in which way scholars should communicate about it, explain it for a wider public because this program started last year, it's totally influenced by the war, and now we are speaking about these changes. However, we can see another discipline, it's philosophy, Christian anthropology, borderland studies, and some no, it's not, no, it's not right translation, but I would like to explain. It's about like internship organized for students in UKU. It's how use social media for preserving, for explaining before a wide audience. It's about another, not discipline, but like it's in Ukrainian, they called it робітня, like some week devoted to the discussing this problem about oral history of war in Ukraine, how we can preserve it, and another such like internship in the second part of first year studying. It's about practical dimension of museum, podcasts, works with internet resource. It's also like set time how to present themselves like a researcher humanitarian. Another, it's a common diploma with the University of Nottingham, but this university provides also some discipline, but mainly in the sphere of literature and philology, not heritage in general. As I've mentioned before, I didn't receive information from all departments where in Ukraine we have educational programs on museology and monument studies. However, this data, it's a possibility for us to understand such institutional changes in Ukrainian universities during the war, because they led to the destruction of educational programs, and also particularly in a field of cultural heritage management, because educational programs began to actively include topics related to war, about legal protection of heritage, decolonization, a term of trauma, impact of hostilities on culture and ecological sites. So we understood that now we are like face to face with big challenges generally in our country and in a sphere of cultural heritage management. We understood that we are at the beginning of the big road. However, it's all now in Ukraine do everything possible to show, to understand in which way we should work with the heritage after the finishing of war, and organize like some preparation work for it. Of course, it's not easy, it's a challenge. However, it's a Ukrainian statement. I'm not sure I know a right translation it into English. Не помиляється той, хто нічого не робить. So we try to do it, of course, with mistakes. However, it's possibility to improve it. So thank you. Дякую. If you have any questions, I try to give an answer. Дякую.
Дякуємо, Світлана Васильівна. Дуже дякуємо за вашу змістовну, глибоку презентацію. Thank you very much, Світлана, for your deep and informative presentation about situation concerning institutional changes in Ukraine on the higher educational system. And the floor are for participants of this lecture. Please give your comments and ask questions or give your information, additional information. I also see our partners of our Data for UA consortium, but also I see stakeholders from museum institution, from cultural heritage, not only education, but sector of cultural heritage of Ukraine. So it would be interesting also dialogue. And also I encourage our students to communicate and to participate in this discussion, because you are also the main stakeholders of our higher educational institutions. And it's very important that you students will and are participating in the changes of our program. And I would like to add that we have on a regular base questionnaire and feedback in order to receive feedback from our students at the end of any course and also in our program. And it is really helpful for us to think about some improvements. But another insight, another very important energy of improvement are our international cooperation. So really Data for UA, the project, international project, is very important for us, because it it is a base for further improvement of our bachelor, master degree program and cultural heritage sector. So please, we are looking forward to discussion. Так, будь ласка, перепрошую, тепер українською мовою дуже коротко. Запрошую всіх учасників нашого обговорення лекції Світлани Васильівни, тому що вона зачіпає не тільки міжнародних партнерів проекту Data for UA, вона торкається усіх нас, людей, які професіоналів, які залучені у сферу культурної спадщини в умовах війни. Йдеться, ми бачимо тут наших стейкхолдерів, бачила, є Тюська Валентина Борисівна, бачу Чуєва Катерина, так? Також бачу Катерина Бойченко з Києва. Наші стейкхолдери є наші студенти, яких я дуже залучаю обговорювати ці питання навчальних програм, тому що ви для нас це дуже важлива інформація і зворотний зв'язок, що краще удосконалювати, яким чином діяти. І ми звертаємося до вас теж за цим, за допомогою і опитувань студентів після вивчення кожного курсу, але також і щодо розвитку наших програм. Тому, будь ласка, шановні колеги з інших університетів, будь ласка, доєднуйтесь до дискусії. Ми чекаємо на ваші питання, коментарі і бажано відкрити камери, побачимо ваші обличчя. Прекрасні. Василь Банах, особливо почнемо з вас.
Валентина Борисівна, дякую, що доєдналася. Можливо, я бачила, ви в реєстрації вказували з Рівненського державного гуманітарного університету. Це теж для нас нагода контакти нав'язати. Можливо, у вас є якісь, не знаю, коментарі.
UMC. Інтернет.
Так, вимкнути звук. Андрій Нагірняк, будь ласка, вимкніть звук, якщо ви не хочете говорити.
Бачу, що повербанку не взяв.
Андрій Нагірняк, виключіть, будь ласка, звук.
Вже вимкнули, дякую.
Так, добре. Валентина Борисівна, я надіслала пану Сергію запрошення, але він не зміг сам особисто бути, але дуже раді, що ви підключилися до нашої розмови. Будь ласка, вам слово. Можливо, щось у вас відбувається, але включіть звук, включіть звук. So, Valentina Tuska is our colleague from Rivne National University and the program of Museology and Cultural Heritage. So, please, the floor is yours.
Але я так розумію, що, напевно, у пані Валентини якісь технічні проблеми, і вона не може говорити.
Ми не чуємо, так.
Окей, і тут Катерина Чуєва теж в метро. Вона перепрошує, але не зможе говорити, бо тим не менше.
Добре. Хто бажає? Василь Михайлович, я думаю, що ви, можливо, дещо скажете про зміни в бакалаврській програмі у зв'язку із війною і у зв'язку з нашою участю в проєкті Data for UA, так?
Так.
Хочете сказати декілька слів, будь ласка.
Добрий день, шановні колеги. От справді, щодо нашої програми, вона була змінена, створена у 2020 році, бо ми зробили спеціальність, додали культурний туризм і, так би мовити, пройшло 4 роки навчання приблизно. От, і зрозуміло, що назріли, ми побачили, що треба міняти, як міняти. У нас були зустрічі, відгуки студентів, опитування. Ну і, звичайно, що свої корективи внесли події вже повномасштабного вторгнення агресора, власне, 2 роки тому. І пригадую, я говорив з Поліною Васильівною на цю тему, якраз почався оця програма, тому, скільки я пригадую, ми точно додали по цьому 2 предмети. Боже, я зараз не готовий точно сказати, але там мова йде про якраз збереження спадщини в умовах конфліктів, руйнувань і так далі. Це однозначно у нас є такий предмет. Тобто, що робити, як робити, питання реінституції, питання відновлення, як це відновлювати, чи повністю відбудовувати, чи консервувати, чи робити якісь культурні простори, ну, там, умовно, як, наприклад, єврейський квартал, простір синагог. Один такий предмет точно є. Щодо іншого, щось мені треба пошукати зараз в комп'ютері. Але я
Добре,
думаю, що
дякую. Так,
Світлана
так.
Васильівна точно в курсі, бо я скидав протоколи, і там є зазначені ті зміни, і зміни стосуються ще ширше, так, і це, наприклад, і сакральна спадщина, у нас якось випала з ОПП, і я звіряв, так, дивився інші програми подібних у нашої спеціальності і в Києві, і, власне, в Луцьку, і десь так якось воно так проходило повз, оця сакральна спадщина. А ми знаємо, що в часи агресії руйнується дуже багато речей, пов'язаних саме з храмами, з іконами, і все, що стосується нематеріальної і матеріальної сакральної спадщини. І тому ми також внесли зміну і додали окремим предметом, власне, сакральна спадщина і релігійний туризм України. Ну і вже в другому семестрі наш доблесний перший курс буде слухати цей предмет. Тим паче, що Львів, він є унікальний в цьому плані, бо ми маємо вірменську спадщину, єврейську, православну, католицьку, тут є де і ще й мусульманську, думаю, не йде. Принаймні знаю, де кримські татари роблять хачапурі. Не так, хачапурі чи чебуреки.
Дуже гарне запрошення наших міжнародних гостей до Львова, так, бо гастрономічний туризм – це складова культурної спадщини. Світлана Васильівна хоче додати. Так, будь ласка.
I would like to remind about necessity to make a photo. So, будь ласочка, do switch off, увімкніть свої камери, якщо ви не хочете бути просто аватарками на відео. I invite you to make a common photo. All of us. Okay, I hope, I'm sure we are all nice and so on. Okay, Max, but our students, наші студенти вирішили проігнорувати мене. Okay, so keep smiling and support Ukraine.
Ні, студенти наші не ігнорують, вони відкриваються, дуже гарні.
And second, sorry, but second attempt.
Так, можете багато робити attention. And I have a question to our international partners. So they represent leading institution of their country, of Latvia, of Slovenia, of Greece, Norway, and Kyiv University. So please, floor is yours. Maybe you can share with your institutional changes in your universities, and I'm particularly interested, do you talk about, do you discuss the issues of cultural heritage in war in Ukraine at your lessons, at your lectures? Who would like to add something? Rita, maybe you?
However, Rita, it's a research institution, yes?
No, yes. Thank you very much, Svitlana, for your presentation and always online lectures, events in general. Yes, that's true. We are kind of affiliated to University of Latvia, but we don't teach directly, so we don't have audience of students, so to say. However, I may talk on behalf of University of Latvia a little bit, and also on Academy of Culture and colleagues working there in the programs of cultural heritage, or there is a special UNESCO department at the Academy of Culture. Absolutely, they have paid attention to this, and also anthropologists at the Faculty of Social Sciences, we recently had changes at University of Latvia, structural changes, but they have touched upon cultural heritage with destruction of cultural heritage in Ukraine, definitely. And my colleagues also said that since this war started, every study term, there's some student who does some particular study, let's say, paper or something else exactly about Ukraine heritage. So I believe, I just wish some joined more to this event, but I believe after publishing online these lectures, they will reach more Latvian students too. So thank you once again.
Thank you so much, Rita, for sharing us. Yes, and I
think it's time. Yeah.
Окей. Чи бажає хтось ще коментувати чи щось додати? Будь ласка, колеги, would you like to comment or to give some information? If not,
Okay,
if
I would like also to invite all of us, all our students, to the next lecture from our colleagues from Latvia University. It will be next
Tuesday?
Thursday, next Tuesday. So it will be
Mhm.
great to see you, to hear a lot of interesting things from Rita and Elena. Дякую всім, хто сьогодні був, слухав, щось почув. І запрошуємо до наступного вівторка на лекцію наших латвійських колег.
І дякую Світлані Васильівні ще раз за чудову лекцію. Thank you very much, Svitlana Muravska. And also thank you to our colleagues, Rita, Elina, Katerina, and other who joined us. Yeah.
Thank you.
See you next Tuesday. Bye. Have a safe day today. Bye.